Hi, folks. It is a pleasure to be reading in the Badmouth Poetry Series. Again, thanks so much to Rebecca Aronson for having me. Today, I'm going to read a number of poems about moving from winter into spring. And so I like having behind me this mural by a friend of mine, David Gwynn, who is a mural painter and painter in general in the great city of Philadelphia. So with this as my backdrop, I'm going to start, and I'll actually start with a poem by someone who is not me, as I like to do. And this is from the book There Are Still Woods by, by Hila Ratsabi. This poem is called Bartram Meadow. Here tree, here bird, here dirt, be mine. Tweet, tweet, my neurons are crowded with birds. Tweet, tweet, let's meet at the back of my mind. Here tree, it's time to march up the hill. Here seed, I found you, a place in the air. That's There Are Still Woods by Hila Ratsabi. It's a fantastic book of poetry. Now I'll share some of my own, including from my first book of poetry, We Were the People Who Moved. I'm going to share the poem After the Ice Storm to get us started in the winter. After the ice storm. The shatter-limbed trees point to their roots with extra fingers, the unharmed branches low, everything in a crouch on the clear, hard ground. On this morning after the ice storm, the trees, like the rest of us, show their white wood in places where they've been broken. We have been warned. Even beauty bears down on us. Everything struggles under the weight of grandure's burden. Some of the poems I'm going to read today are from my new collection, What's Left to Us by Evening. And I'll start with an untitled poem, very quick, that goes like this. Ice blossoms on the branches of the dark cherry tree. Back into We Were the People Who Moved for a poem called Snowfall. This is the rain that won't leave us, that in the morning will still be here, curled up against our car tires and trees, our homes thick in the grass, deep the length of the sidewalk. This is the naive rain that thinks it can break the cycle, live here quietly among us. This is the rain that believes it's permanent, and only because of the children who mark it everywhere with angels. Bouncing back for a while into What's Left to Us by Evening, this poem is called Mirage. That long spill of water in the street, in the light, I was sure it was broken glass from a windshield, a long spill of broken glass. Next poem is called Now. Night starts to think about sunrise, and the point is not sunrise, but the thought of it, which you can see through the window, that edge. This is what is called dawning, this edge, this wave of day, which will curl over us. Essays on the cherry blossom. After the dry winter, the city's all neck bone and hard arm, and now this feather boa. You were here all winter, bare, and only last year's birds knew it. I understand why you scatter your tiny white coins. I don't. With those armfuls, I would never have expected you, Bodhisattva, to reach down for me. I was here with you all winter. Rain again. I go to the window in the living room because it's dark out and I want to know if that sound is a rain shower. And of course, it's a rain shower. But I'm glad to be at the window seeing it against the dark. How many times does a person get to find out again that it's the rain? Another poem from We Were the People Who Moved. To whom it may concern. They have built a tree outside my window. They've built another one behind that. They have filled both with white flowers, white like fresh paper, with a little yellow at the core for dignity. The brown limbs underneath the white are like us. They hold everything up, up. I write to you about this not to complain. No one seeing this could think to complain. But because someone must mention the trees, and because someone must need to be told. And just a few last poems, all from What's Left to Us by Evening. Very short one called Afternoon. The sky is very near, cloudy, with cherry blossoms. The world is on its way to you. The world is on its way to you, always, never resting. The red of that pillow on the couch crosses the open room to meet your eyes. The sound of someone driving by the house travels on until it finds your ears. Even this hard floor, kneel now to touch it, feel how it springs up to be felt. And oh, behind these bright things are all the other things that are coming. The world, every moment, on its way. And this poem is the poem that actually gives this book its title. It's in one of the lines later in the poem. It's called Yard Sale St. Patrick's Day. And it's the month of St. Patrick's Day, so why not? It starts out dreamlike, setting up the card tables as the sun burns the sidewalks dry, as summer comes to March, the cherry blossoms turning rows of trees into photo negatives up and down the block and snowing their petals down. We have a corner lot, good foot traffic for this neighborhood, which today is full of stunned people in green. They're not drunk yet, but the weather is drawing them out onto the street to take short steps. Only the dogs pull them along. We sell books, an end table, 2 vases. We stay out through lunch and the afternoon's angling sun, our tables increasingly a place for things like your white plastic letter opener, my tasseled bookmarks. Our child has put out a drummer Smurf missing an arm. That's what's left to us by evening. But we stay out there, and the people walking by now are all emerald and certainly drunk, and we sell a mug with no handle, a stapler shaped like a frog. The sun sets finally, and the newborn mosquitoes start to test the air. There's the music from student houses, which we didn't know were in the neighborhood. Not Irish music, just music. We recollect our remaining peculiarities and break down the tables, put them all back where they were before. And finally, the season for it. Thanks so much for listening. The season for it. In this neighborhood, everything blooms. Certainly flowers stand up out of the grass, but even the trees hang them down, heavy or in some cases light like extra air. The ends of branches, but also the bark all along their tattooed arms. And then the bushes go bright on us. It seems like soon the walls will sprout and the sidewalks will make their own petals, instead of just catching the cast-offs. We all do that, catch the flowers piled on every side until they're all we can see. The world is a garden that, for right now, we don't have to leave.